All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick little guide on my Earthshatter Titan. I haven't seen too many people kind of doing what I'm doing and approaching the passive tree the same way that I am. So I wanted to put this out there and kind of get some feedback of what other people think and maybe give you guys some ideas of what to do. So the basic idea of the build is we're just using Earthshatter as our primary damage source. Hopefully it aftershocks like it did just there, and then we press Seismic Cry and blow them up, or Infernal Cry. So this is really good for stun buildup. It's really good for single target, mainly because of that stun buildup. It builds up a lot of stuns on bosses. And then it's pretty good for clear too, because we're running Herald of Ash. We're doing big AoE with the aftershocks. So it propagates pretty well across a map. And I'll show you guys a map at the end of this. But yeah, so really quickly to go over the gems. We're not using our Mace Strike at all. It's just holding some gems right now that I'm kind of interested in, but we don't use this at all. It's not on our bar. We're using Scavenged Plating. No supports in it. It's kind of more of a nice to have right now because my chest piece has some extra spirit on it, so it was like, why not try it? So that's why we're running Scavenged Plating. During clear with Bone Shatter, you can get some extra armor, which can be kind of nice. So, all right, Earthshatter. This is your big boy. So, Upheaval is a must. You have to run this. That's what creates the 2 additional spikes whenever you use it. It's going to up your damage by a lot. The 20% less attack speed kind of sucks, but we're using Martial Tempo, and that's why we're using Martial Tempo, to get a little bit of that attack speed back. We're using Brutality for extra fizz. We're using Aftershock, which is also really, really important. You really, really want these things to Aftershock. Like when you do this and they don't Aftershock, it's a lot less damage as opposed to when they do Aftershock, which should happen about, I think it's 50% of the time. So then, yeah, we have Martial Tempo to get back a little bit of the attack speed that we lose from using Upheaval. And then we're using Heft. And I don't know how right using Heft is here. I think it's pretty good. It's giving us 200 tooltip DPS, which doesn't mean much, but I think it's pretty good. But this is something that I'm still experimenting with. And the only reason I have a 6 link is because I got lucky and I got a perfected Jeweler's Orb. So I think that these 4 are your most important ones. You can drop Martial Tempo if you think that you don't need the attack speed and put damage in here if you only have a 5 link. But I really, really like Martial Tempo because when you're getting surrounded by shit in like Breach, having attack speed and being able to get shit off of you is pretty important and kill stuff quickly. So I think Martial Tempo is really good. But yeah, not 100% sure on this support gem setup. I think it's right, but there's some experimenting here for sure. I think that these 3, Brutality, Upheaval, and Aftershock, are 100% correct, but these last 2 I'm not sure. So we're using Bone Shatter. The more I'm not building accuracy into the build, the less I want it. But if you're taking Resolute Technique, which I'm not taking on the tree, this is a no-brainer. And I'm still using it. I probably still will use it, but it is annoying. It's also annoying for another reason I'll get into in a second. But with Bone Shatter, we're using Impact Shockwave, Devastate, and Break Endurance. These should be pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, basically we're only pressing Bone Shatter when somebody's primed to stun. We never press it otherwise. So Devastate is 100% going to happen. We might get some endurance charges, which is kind of nice. And Impact Shockwave is nice for helping make sure everything dies in an AoE when we do use the skill. Yeah, right now our accuracy is pretty bad. We're not really prioritizing accuracy on our gear. We don't have resolute technique, so sometimes I press this button and nothing fucking happens. So I kind of am thinking that I want this out of the build. It's also very inconsistent because with how much stun we build up from aftershocks, it kind of sucks that like this. It's pretty rare that I use this skill, especially on bosses. It's pretty often I will stun them with Earthshatter and Seismic Cry before I can Bone Shatter them. Infernal Cry, this is pretty straightforward. It's just another War Cry. If your Seismic Cry goes on cooldown, you have Infernal Cry to also use. So you have Premeditation and Ingenuity, just, more damage, help recover your Hammer of the Gods when you use it. Herald of Ash, we have this on. I would say the two most important are Overwhelming Presence and Herald of Ash. You actually don't really care about Scavenged Plating. This is just a nice to have if you have some extra spirit on your gear. But Herald of Ash is really going to help you with your clear. Helps make sure that stuff dies. If it doesn't die from Bone Shatter or the Bone Impact Shockwave, then it'll hopefully die from the Herald of Ash proccing off of some other mob dying. So this is really nice for clear. Hammer of the Gods. This thing is fucking broken. I won't be surprised if it gets nerfed. But so we're using Exploit Weakness, which is also why you want Devastate somewhere in your build. And like I said, it's actually kind of inconsistent having the opportunity to Bone Shatter a boss. So Exploit Weakness feels kind of bad sometimes because it's just not doing anything if you're not Bone Shattering the boss. Fist of War, really good, just a bunch of extra damage, 20% more damage. You are only pressing this, you're not pressing it more than every 6 seconds. Yeah, this is really good. I have fast forward because I found that sometimes bosses were getting out of the AoE. They were some bosses have very short stun animations and they can run around. Same with rares. So I found that having this just happen faster was really useful. And this thing already does so much damage that I haven't felt the need to have, 2 more damage supports here or replace fast forward with a damage support. So I think that the next 2 slots are certainly going to be damage. I might move Heft into Hammer of the Gods and put something else here, or just get a couple more damage supports into here. All right, Seismic Cry. This is one of your most important skills. Raging Cry, just for some free rage. It's nice. It's not super useful or super important, but it's nice. Dazing Cry, really insane. You just daze enemies, which causes them to, I believe it's 50% more stun buildup, and this is just free. You press the button and they become dazed. So this is really, really good. You definitely want it on Seismic Cry. Magnified Effect, it's pretty good. It helps you hit your spikes, your Earthshatter spikes from further away. So you have a little bit more AoE to be able to hit them when they're a little further out. Overwhelming Presence is really, really good. It reduces stun threshold of nearby enemies, and that's the most important thing that you're doing. So you always want Overwhelming Presence. Vitality is really good. Cannibalism is insane and is the most important aura support that you can get. This is instant. It's not like most other sources of regeneration in the game. It's not over time. So you kill something, you instantly recover 4% of your life. This is really, really cracked for sustain and maps. There are plenty of times where I'm getting surrounded and killed, and this saves my life because I press Earthshatter, Seismic Cry, I kill 10 mobs around me, I recover 40% of my life instantly. So this is a really, really insane support gem. I would drop everything like Herald of Ash, Vitality, Scavenge Plating if I didn't have the Spirit, which you should. I think you get 60 or whatever from the campaign by default, or 100, I don't know. So yeah, you should always prioritize overwhelming presence and supporting that with cannibalism, and then everything else after that is nice to haves. There's probably an argument to put in Herald of Ash over Vitality. I really like Vitality. It's really hard to sustain. There's a lot less strong options for sustain in this game than POE 1. So whenever I can get some, I'm going to try to take it. Leap Slam, I honestly really just use this for a movement skill, but I could understand, like, Holy Descent is nice, getting some consecrated ground is good, momentum is fine. You could put in, I don't remember the name of the support gem, let me see, yeah, Overpower. You could put in Overpower if you find that when you're leap slamming, you're not really priming everything for stun. So that's something to consider. Probably I would put that in as my fourth socket or something like that. But Leap Slam is not doing a whole bunch of damage for you or anything. It's just a way for you to get into the middle of packs or to jump across like a river or something. It's not super useful. So I think that's everything for the gems. So we can look at the passive tree now. So starting with the Ascendancy, we're Titan. We are taking Giant's Blood, which is the notable down here, which is you can use two-handed weapons in one hand. I think with this build in particular and how important the shield is, if you can't, you should be able to get the strength, but if you somehow can't find a weapon where you can use it, like if you can't find one with reduced attributes or something, you should drop this and use a one-hander and like change around this tree a little bit, like go up here instead of down here, stuff like that, because it's so important to use a shield, I think, that using just a two-hander is not worth it. So yeah, obviously we're taking Hulking Form because it's like the most insane ascendancy in the game. Just gives you so much more value out of all of these small nodes. Colossal Capacity is actually pretty nice, but it obviously does nothing for the strength of your character. We wouldn't take it if it was the fourth one. We would only take Hulking Form. So Mysterious Lineage is really good. You get some life per second as well from this life regeneration node, and then I think this gives me like close to 500 HP from 2 ascendancy points, which is like really cracked. And then for my last ascendancy, I'm not there yet, but I should be heading there. I should have the opportunity to do it kind of soon. I guess for context, I'm level 80. I'm probably going to take Earthbreaker because Aftershocks are so important to the build that it would really up your DPS to take this. Getting more consistent Aftershocks is more consistent stuns, it's more consistent clear, it's more consistent single target because you might, Aftershock Hammer the gods. So yeah, it's really, really important. It's really important to Aftershock, which makes me think I'm probably going to take this. Stone Skin is also really good though. And I think if you are wanting to just be really tanky, Stone Skin is good. You get 20% increased armor and 50% more armor from equipped body armor. So this is actually going to give you an absolute shit ton of armor. You can see it gives me 6% armor, just this one node, right? So that's a lot of armor. It's a lot of physical damage reduction. So it's really good. I think if you want to be tanky, you take this. If you want more damage, you take this. And I think based off the way the build is going, I'm going to want more damage. So I'm probably going to take Earthbreaker. All right, looking at the tree. So we take all these increased melee damage nodes because with Hulking Form, they're just insane. 12, 15% increased melee damage. We don't really need help with stun buildup. We have a ton of stun buildup already. Brutal, and then I path down here really quick to get Relentless because 0.5% of life per second, 10 strength, percent armor is all really, really nice. And I want to make a distinction, by the way, really quick. So sturdy metal is increased armor. So this is, 3%. This is more armor. So if you have a fat armor chest piece, this is going to give you a ton of armor. It's more instead of increased, which is a better modifier. So then, yeah, we're going to keep taking melee damage. We pop up here for skill speed. I'm kind of considering dropping this, and I kind of want to get over here to this attack speed. We only use skills, so this, is functionally attack speed for us, but it's a little bit less efficient to go over here. I think if I drop these two and go here, it's a little bit more efficient. So you could consider that if you want to, taking this attack speed wheel right here. Anyways, so yeah, we get a little bit of skill speed, and then we go over here and we grab this attack speed, and that's primarily because I'm planning on taking this wheel right here. I'm going to take the block chance and then the percent increased damage per 1% chance to block. This is actually a lot of damage because we have a lot of chance to block, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So then we go down here, we take all of this percent increased damage with two-handed weapons because it's just an absolute shit ton of damage. Singular purpose, good stun build up, good damage with two-handed weapons. This is not important. You could grab this node if you want this 18%, but this is not important. You don't need shockwaves. This is pretty important. Taking this right here, you're going to get some attack area damage, increased area, and then mainly aftershocks. Getting more area of effect for your aftershocks is really, really good. So we'll come to this side in a second, but we'll finish this here. So we're going to take Warcry's Empower and Additional Attack. Really, really good because, especially on bosses when you're probably not getting any endurance charges, getting 2 empowered attacks instead of 1 is very, very strong. Taking the mace wheel, taking damage rather than the stun buildup. If you are having trouble with stun buildup, I guess you could take the stun buildup. I really don't think you need to. The damage is insane, 21% increased damage. And then this Split the Earth is really, really good. You're getting some aftershock chance, which is very helpful. And then Skull Crusher is really good for when you stun bosses. You drop Hammer of the Gods on them. This is going to make it do a lot more damage. We grab this block chance and recover life. It's actually really good. We have good block chance. We have 62% block chance, and I'm going to try to cap my block chance. So getting a bunch of life when a bunch of little shitsters are shooting like a million little projectiles at you, Hunker Down's really good. And getting this block chance is really nice too. Then we have, Jewel Socket, and then we're taking Blood Magic. I don't want to fucking deal with trying to figure out my mana. This is not too far from where I'm at anyways, and I'm getting a Jewel Socket, so really this is like 2 nodes, 2 passive points to get this. And even then, Strength is good for us no matter what, so you could kind of view it as just 1, and Blood Magic just makes it so we don't have to worry about mana at all, and our regeneration is good enough that it doesn't matter taking Blood Magic. It doesn't hurt us. And then, yeah, we're taking these for some extra armor. Made to Last is pretty good. Gives us a little bit of extra recoup. And then I'm just going to make a quick note. I do consider taking these life regeneration nodes. The tooltip is kind of fucked up. I don't really understand what that's telling me. But right now we have, okay life recovery, and this will boost that. So getting some more life recovery is actually probably pretty good. But there's more important stuff in the tree, so that's why I haven't taken these. If I ever get extra points, I will probably put them into like 2-handed damage, and then like these life regeneration nodes. Okay, so now moving on to this part of the tree really quick. We're taking Strength and Reduced Mana because we just don't we do not care about mana. We take Brute Strength, which is what is that, like 24 per 25, 26, something like that percent damage. So and since we don't care about the reduced maximum mana, it's just free. Like I said, we're taking Giant's Blood, and then we are going down to take Urgent Call. This is something that I'm not 100% sure about. We definitely don't need the Warcry speed, so you definitely want the cooldown recovery rate. Initially I took this because I was having a lot of trouble sustaining Blood Magic, That's not a problem anymore, but that's why I wanted this life and mana. But the cooldown recovery rate is actually pretty nice. It's only a 5-second cooldown when Seismic Cry goes on cooldown, four and a quarter on Infernal Cry. So this is actually pretty nice. But I could see dropping this. I could see, getting 6 points back and doing something else with it. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. All right, so now talking about this little bit of the tree right here, we're getting Vigilance for some more block chance, as well as a little bit of extra life gained on block. We're getting heat proofing, which is like super important. So definitely make sure you get heat proofing. You get a lot of armor as well from these small nodes, and then heat proofing is just going to make it so you take a lot less, or not a lot less, but you'll take less damage for fire, which is really good. And then, we're taking all of these small strength nodes around beef, because 12 strength per node is just really, really good. And then I'm grabbing Blade Catcher. I see a lot of people skipping this, which I don't really understand, because you're taking a small armor node, which is 22%, which is really good. And then you are taking Blade Catcher, which is, you can view it as 15 strength. So like if you're taking all of these, I mean, it's better than that, and you also get the defend with 200% of armor against crits. I don't know how important that is, but because you might be getting crit by non-physical damage, so this won't do anything to that. But I don't really understand why I'm not seeing more people take this. Like if they're taking beef and they're taking this, I think you should take this. So then, other than that, we're just kind of going this way. And like I said, I'm kind of considering unspecking out of this. And the more I play with Bone Shatter, the more I want Resolute Technique, because I'm not really scaling crit. So not dealing crits is fine. So I'm really considering, spending 3 points and getting Resolute Technique, because really the only reason I'm keeping this stuff right now is it gives you a little bit of dexterity. But it gives you some accuracy, which is why I don't want to unspec this, because if I unspec this, I think I'd have very, very bad accuracy. So then, the last thing is like, what are my plans? I do plan on getting this node. If that doesn't cap my block out, which I'm not sure if it will, I don't think that it will, these two nodes, then I'm planning on getting whatever I need in these nodes right here in order to cap out my block. So that would probably be like these three right here. And then after that, that's kind of it. After that, it's just like nice to have stuff. Like I might head over to like Cranial Impact, Heavy Contact, grab those small points that I mentioned, like these life regen points or this two-handed damage. That's pretty much it for the skill tree. You could get Prism Guard, which would actually be quite nice, because after you get your stuff, then after you get your res cap, then this actually becomes good. It was pretty bad early on because it's only +5 to all LE resist, but after you get res cap, that's when this becomes good. I do want to point out, so I see a lot of people playing with Rage, and I see a lot of people playing with this top piece of the tree. I've tried it. I don't love it. I think that it's kind of okay for maps, like for when you're clearing, but Vengeful Fury is actually really inconsistent on bosses. So these 4 nodes are doing like nothing for you while you're on bosses, and kind of the same with these 4. So they're only for mapping. They don't really do anything for you for bossing. Unless you're going all in on Rage, which I just don't think it's worth the points. Like I think that if you had more Rage synergy in your Ascendancy, then maybe it makes sense. Or like if you have like if axes were in the game and you could take this stuff where you're getting maximum rage and actually generating a lot of rage, then I think that it makes more sense. But I don't love rage. I haven't tried it with all of the rage synergy, but I would recommend against it. But if you guys, I would say definitely give it a try and let me know. Like if it's really cracked, let me know if it does better than what I have going on. But I haven't tried the full rage build, but with no synergy in the Ascendancy, I feel like it's kind of whatever. All right, and then really quickly, I'll mouse over the gear. Some of this is still pretty bad. I regret putting in leech physical damage as life into this thing. I think I corrupted it, and it hit another socket. I should have put in another increased phys damage, but life goes on. Yeah, this weapon could be a lot better. This is like really low item level. It's, yeah, what is it, 58. I have this breach ring just because it has some good resistances. As you can see, we're res capped, which is very helpful. This helmet is just some max life and some resistances. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Strength amulet is really important. I should probably slam this with another exalt. Try to hit either max life as a prefix or another resistance in the suffix. I probably will actually do that. Okay, the shield. This is actually really important. Shields have pretty bad block chance, actually. So hitting a good percent increased block chance is super important. I had a shield before that had like 26-ish percent, 28% base block chance, and your block chance is so much worse if you do not have this mod on your shield. My block chance used to be like 34%. Just getting this shield with that mod on it put it up to 62, because in the passive tree you have all these percentage increases, right? Like percent increased block chance. So that's based off of the base block chance of your shield. So you need to have a good base block chance, and this is the main thing that I think I'm doing differently is scaling my block. I don't see a lot of builds on YouTube talking about block, and block is like absolutely insane. They changed it so there's no more spell block, which I guess kind of sucks for like other stuff, but a lot of spells or things that would have been considered spells in POE 1, like a little lightning ball that somebody like throws at you or something, that's just considered an attack now, like a projectile. So you can block it. So block is really, really insane. This has been the main difference maker for my survivability was block. So yeah, with this shield, it's very important that you actually scale your block. My suffixes on this shield's actually like really insane. It has block chance. It has the really only bad mod is that plus to armor, but good max life. You want strength as a suffix for sure, and then 2 resistances. So this is like a really, really cracked shield, very strong. So this is, I'd say the main things that you want to hit is really just the block chance, and then after that, just try to get some decent mods, like a resist, 2 resistances, and some life, and you're good to go. So then, yeah, this chest piece, I got this recently. It's not that great. Some max life, some spirit, which is a nice to have. That's what let us put scavenged plating in. But I am not married to scavenged plating, so if I ever replace this chest piece, I don't really give a shit about scavenged plating, and I'll drop it. I will say you definitely want the expert steel plate base because it has the implicit of regenerating percent of life per second. So make sure you get that base. I haven't seen any other bases that have implicits. Prismatic ring just for some resistances. This is kind of a pretty ass ring, but it helps cap my resistances. It's 24% all res with some life. So this could be a lot better. Boots, these are extremely cracked. 25% increased move speed isn't great, but it's pretty good. I have a T8 life roll, triple res roll, and then, yeah, so these are, I mean, this is what you want. You could honestly probably drop a resistance for strength if you get lucky enough to hit that. But yeah, this is pretty close to what you want. Gloves, these are pretty bad, but they're okay enough right now. They have a T8 life roll, and then a couple of resistances and some attack speed. These are really whatever, but yeah, you know, life, resist, that's all you really need. Got this breach ring. I probably want to replace this at some point. It just has some fat resistances, but yeah, and you know, a little bit of life. Belt's really, really bad, but it has a good life roll and it has some strength. So it's pretty bad, but yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, flasks. The mana flask literally doesn't matter because we have blood magic. And then the healing flask. This one's actually pretty good. Increased amount recovered, and then gaining charges per second is like super important. So I'd say make sure you get charges per second, and then the charms are a fucking joke and need to get changed to actually be able to get 3 charms. I think you probably shouldn't use the lightning resistance one. You should probably be using either like immunity to freeze or immunity to stun, which I believe is this stone charm. So yeah, you should probably use one of these. In fact, I'll just practice what I preach and do that. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it for the gear, the passive tree, and the skills. So let's jump into a quick map and take a look at it. Where do I want to go? I guess we'll go, trying to get over to here, so we'll go this way. Let's pop in. So yeah, I'm up to tier 10s, and it's going pretty well. So yeah, let's just run this and see how it goes. So yeah, you guys will be able to see the kind of basic gameplay, leap slamming in, Earthshatter, all that jazz. So I toss out a couple Earthshatters, press Seismic Cry, pretty much kills most everything. And you'll see when I Aftershock, like right there, my damage is much, much higher, which is why I'm thinking, and yeah, you can see Bone Shatter missing, which is why I'm thinking of taking that Aftershock chance in the tree and the Ascendancy, because it really does make a difference. But yeah, you can see cannibalism. Oh, and here's a rare. So you pop the stun, hit Hammer of the Gods, and it's done. But yeah, you can see cannibalism is keeping us healthy. Proximal tangibility, my favorite. Also stun resistant. Maybe the most annoying rare mods possible. How's that? But yeah, I will mention, like, the gear on this character has so much room to improve that I think that the build has a lot of legs. Like, my weapon is really bad. My gear is missing a lot of strength, a lot of max HP. So I think that the ceiling on this character is really, really high. And I don't see a lot of people building it with block like the way that I am, which feels really strange to me, because if you're taking Giant's Blood and you're using a shield, I feel like you should probably take advantage of you know, using that shield and getting some block chance, because it really made a huge difference in terms of my survivability, because there's just not that many ways to actually scale survivability in the game. Like, there's not a lot on the passive tree. There's not that many different survivability layers. So getting what you can is kind of really, really important. And taking advantage of all the systems that you can is important. But yeah, I mean, you can also see that this isn't like the fastest build in the world, right? It's not, I'm not popping the whole screen at once, like with the, you know, I think the skill's called Devastate, like Devastate Armor Explosion build or something. But the nice thing about this build is, A, it's pretty tanky. B, it actually scales itself really well as a one-button skill on both bosses and in mapping. Because against bosses, you stun them so quickly with Earthshatter, unless they're like stun resistant or something. Oh, and I can show you guys my, after this map, I'll show you guys my, my Atlas passive tree. I forgot to do that. Yeah, so it scales really well against bosses because you stun them so quickly. And then it scales pretty well, you know, obviously on mapping, because you have these big sources of explosions, you got big AoE. So yeah, it's all pretty good. Also, I will mention, I have very little chaos resistance. yeah, like 10%. It's actually pretty important to get chaos resistance, and I'm clearly very overcapped on everything else. So yeah, I would say you should try to, well, this looks dangerous. I would definitely recommend trying to cap chaos resistance and making it a priority, because there are a lot of sources of chaos damage in the game. Like a lot of just like little mobs will shoot you with chaos. These AoEs are chaos damage. Like, it's a shit ton of chaos damage. So getting some chaos resistance is actually really, really important, and is going to be one of the priorities. Yeah, like these constricted shamblers do chaos damage. So that's my plan for the next defense, is capping block, capping chaos res, and then obviously getting more life. This is actually pretty low life for the character. I think ideally I'd be around 4,500 life. So yeah, I would recommend trying to do that as well. Prioritizing life on all your gear. I can't even fucking see this guy. Oh, nice. Let me go kill this rare. Come on. Hit him. Alright, so yeah, just one more rare on the map, and then that's it. But yeah, let me know if you guys have been playing this type of build, and what you're doing, because I'm curious if people are doing similar stuff. I just haven't really seen anybody building Earthshatter the way that I am. Mainly the block is the main difference, which isn't honestly that big of a difference, but I'm curious if you guys have had Rage work out really well for you, or anything like that. Like if my damage looks like it sucks, or my clear looks like it sucks. I actually do need level 17 skills. Yeah, let me know, because I don't know. I've kind of mostly been keeping myself in the dark in terms of what people are doing. I didn't want to spoil myself before early access, but alright, almost at that rare. Yeah, stun resistant is pretty bad. They take much longer to stun. If he's this low, I'm not even going to hammer the gods him. Alright, so that's, yeah, tier 10 done. Not super juiced, but, I never really even came close to dying or in danger. And then, yeah, really quick, I'll show you the this stuff. So the main thing that I'm doing is I'm getting the Waystone chance, which is really important. I think probably you want to get constant crossroads, like first thing probably, and then getting Fortunate Path, High Road is all really good. I actually really like Deadly Evolution, because we know in the patch notes that every modifier on rare, or I don't know if it applies to unique, but I know it applies to rare, is 10% quant. So getting 2 additional modifiers, while it can make rares kind of scary sometimes, really improves their loot, gives you a lot more quantity out of them, as well as these Waystone quantities are, they're not bad nodes. I'm considering just taking this at some point. But yeah, so then going up here, getting Teeming Horde, some extra pack size, and then, probably going to take Precursor Influence. Essences are kind of a meme. I don't think I'm going to take them. Unstable Energies is super fucking scary. I don't know if I would take that, because getting extra suffix modifiers would be really bad. You know, taking like Lucky Pillage or something. I haven't thought about the Atlas tree too much, so but I do think Deadly Evolution is good, and I think getting these like Fortunate Path, High Road, and Constant Crossroads is also really, really good, because just getting your waystones is important. Getting multiple waystones from a map is really important. That's pretty much the build, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are playing a similar type of build and what you're doing, or if you have any questions, yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Thanks so much.